So governments around the world are cutting their budgets right now. And in many cases, it makes sense. During the pandemic, governments expanded fast. What we're seeing now is that contraction. But there's a problem. Most of these cuts don't actually make government more efficient, even though that's what they say they're supposed to do. In fact, oftentimes, they're going to make government worse. There's a great article by Nick Scott called "Budget Cuts Rarely Transform Systems." And his core point is this: cuts reduce capacity. They don't reduce complexity. Government still has to do all the same things, same services, same expectations, same processes, just now with fewer people. So what ends up happening is your staff gets stretched, things take longer, and inevitably the quality drops. Systems adapt, but in ways that make it less effective, which isn't what we want. One of the analogies he uses that I really like is this idea of pipes. When governments cut budgets, it's like they're turning down the water that's flowing through these pipes. Less funding equals less flow. But the pipes stay exactly the same. So what you end up getting is lower pressure, worse output, and just a more frustrating experience. Imagine having a shower with hardly any water coming out of it. Over time, this creates negative feedback loops. So actually, it makes things worse as people trust government less and therefore expect more cuts. And you get this negative feedback loop. So what's the alternative? Nick suggests this whole idea of 3 horizons. The first horizon is all about the current situation, making cuts, stabilizing, dealing with the immediate issue. The second horizon is really taking a step back and exploring resource flows and delivery modes, so the bigger picture. And then the third horizon is like long-term, looking more into the future, investing in capability and transformation. The problem that we run into is inevitably government seems to usually focus on horizon 1, which makes sense. This is the most urgent. This is where cuts need to happen. The problem is by not having an eye for horizon 2 and 3, in the end you actually make things worse. So yes, cuts are absolutely necessary, but you have to be smart about how you do it. If you're not fixing the system, you're just making things worse. So we need to protect a certain part of capacity, focused on redesigning the system itself. To think how to change flows, how services are delivered, and how the system actually operates. This is what allows us to make these cuts in a way that actually drives efficiency, as opposed to making things less efficient. This is just sort of my high-level overview. Dive into Nick's article. It's really good. Give it a look. But also, I'd recommend looking into an article Jeff Mulligan wrote almost a year ago now called Doge Done Better. I made a video about it as well, so you can check that out, but definitely dig into it. Because we know cuts are going to be here. Cuts are here. And we now need to be smart about how we do it. Otherwise, we're not going to get a smaller system or a more efficient system. We're just going to get a worse system.